Hey Grain Grandmasters, we're gonna get
Irish today.
That's right, we're making Irish soda bread. No yeast involved. Sorry, yeast. You'll probably come back next week, but for now, we're using baking soda in its stead. So without further ado, welcome to Bread With Me. Alright, Grain Grandmasters, this is a blink and you miss it recipe, so we're gonna go quick for a reason. I'll get to that in a second. It's important that before you get started, you have all of your ingredients set up perfectly. By the way, follow along with the recipe in the description. Alright, let's get started by combining all of your dry ingredients. 3 cups of whole wheat flour, 1 cup of all-purpose flour, 2 teaspoons of baking soda, 1 1/4 teaspoons of sea salt, and 2 tablespoons of brown sugar. Whisk together until homogeneous and there are no clumps at all. Clumps bad.
So silky.
Go ahead and add your wet ingredients together and mix. That's 1 beaten egg and 2 cups of buttermilk. Usually we use yeast to leaven our bread, but in this recipe we're using baking soda. Yeast takes its sweet time. Sometimes we have to wait hours while our dough proves. The Irish have given us the gift of time with this recipe since it uses baking soda instead. This recipe is the quickest bread I've made on the channel so far, and you can make it if you have about an hour and an oven that heats up to 450 Fahrenheit. Okay, time to add the wet ingredients to the dry ingredients, and go! Mix your ingredients together with a soft spatula until the dry stuff is mostly hydrated. Then when you can't do it anymore, get your hands in there. And when you can't do any more inside the bowl with your hands, dump the contents out onto a heavily floured work surface. Baking soda works almost instantly as soon as you add an acidic ingredient. Our acidic ingredient in this recipe is buttermilk. So from here on out, we're going to move it along. I made my own buttermilk, but you can pick it up at the supermarket. Let me know in the comments if you want to see a video on my homemade butter and buttermilk. I didn't mess around and floured this surface before starting this recipe. Again, we're fighting with time here. We want to make sure the baking soda isn't overly reactive like my girlfriend when I told her I wanted to be a YouTuber. No kneading necessary. Please don't knead. Please. Just get your dough hydrated and move on. I swear to God, if you try to take your time with this, I will not be happy. I know what you're thinking. Okay, that's out of my system. Just lightly shape the dough into a ball. Transfer to a floured baking sheet. I put parchment paper on mine, then floured it to make extra sure this hydrated dough doesn't stick. It's looking pretty good. Make sure the top is a little floured. Now we'll just score the top of the dough with a knife in the shape of an X. The Irish say that scoring the dough lets the fairies out. It also lets out steam, and there's going to be a lot of it. Check out this clip from my bread in the oven when I accidentally turned on my oven fan. So very important to score the dough. Oven time. Make sure your oven is preheated to 450 degrees Fahrenheit. It's hot, but we'll only cook on this setting for 15 minutes. Then we'll cook for another 30 minutes on 400 or until it looks amazing and browned. Boom, boom, boom. Time goes by and it's done. Alright, it's time for a taste test of this soda bread. At first glance, this looks like a success because we have some actual moisture coming out of this bread. And the crumbs looking pretty good too. You can see here we've got a bunch of air in there. As is traditional with Irish soda bread, we're going to eat this with copious amounts of butter. The history of this bread is that it could have been made by anyone in Ireland. No matter the type of food shortages they had going on, it really just took 4 ingredients. Now you can certainly add ingredients to spice that up, and you should, but the history of this is that this was very quick and easy to make, not necessarily that it was the most flavorful or best tasting bread in the world. Here goes nothing. I'm afraid that if you don't use something like whole wheat to give it some more flavor, this will come out incredibly bland. You could also put in dried fruits, raisins, but it surely can satisfy your hunger for celebrating a tradition. Thanks so much for watching this video. If you learned something, leave a like. Happy St. Irish Day. Happy St. Patrick's Day. I said it right that time. What you got? Give me that. As always, bread is best enjoyed when you share it with the ones you love. Thanks for watching. Bread you later.